I just got done cutting hay. You know, the weather we got in southwest Wisconsin is not really something you count on. They actually pulled the rain back a little bit, and which Ryan just told me this morning when I told him I was going out to cut. He said that originally they were calling for rain next Monday, and today is Wednesday. So yeah, plenty of time with conditions like this to make hay, right? Well, they pulled it back to Saturday night now. And we got a lot of hay to cut yet, and a lot of hay to make. A lot. Some of it, like the valley, I gotta go back down and get it fertilized one more time. Actually, just get the rest of it fertilized the first time. I'm gonna let it go for the rest of summer, but we have, like, well, the seeding down there, that was all seeded to grass this year. I had 7 acres here at home, at the home farm, and I had 7 or 8 acres elsewhere, and it was all seeding, so it should have been made like 2 weeks ago, but with the weather we've had, it makes a guy kind of leery on really wanting to get carried away cutting hay. My buddy called me on Monday and asked me when I was going to cut hay again, and looking at the forecast just 2 days ago, there really were no decent days that I was willing to cut hay. I was actually not content, but just accepted the fact that not making any more, or not going to be cutting any more hay in the month of July. Well, let me get in here. The weather changed, and you got to check it daily, you know. And I decided to go ahead and at least cut something. The seeding, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll explain to you guys why I quit cutting at 2 o'clock, that'll probably go in 2 days. They're calling for humid and hot. Like, too humid isn't really going to be that great of drying weather, but that seeding was overripe. It was dry to a certain degree already, and it really just needed to be cut. So what I just decided to do is cut something, not everything. I have enough that I could cut right now. I probably could have cut for 2 days straight, but let's just go in the truck. Because they're calling for rain Saturday, and my goal is to hopefully make this stuff Friday. That's why I only cut from 10 a.m. till 2, because there's still enough daylight, light breeze, which you guys probably can't tell, left, that the stuff that I had just got done cutting, that I finished cutting, has a chance to actually dry yet today. I'm not planning on tetting it out, just because of what I just said. It's dry. There's some greenness in it yet. There's weeds in it, but that all goes back to the fact that couldn't get it cut when we should have. So that's that. And because I knew I was on a kind of a time crunch, I didn't want to be cutting until 7-8 o'clock tonight. Bugs. I cut what made sense to cut. So what I'm going to do, like I always do, it's the new habit. I never really used to do this when I first started being a little bit more active on the farm as far as getting the equipment ready to go for the next time you're going to use it. I remember early on when I first started to cut hay, I mean, because I started by raking with that New Holland 256, my grandpa's, and the 2955. Then I was gradually building up jobs every year, more or less, getting more trust put on me. And one of the first, like, really bigger jobs that I got was cutting hay. And originally we never really went through the disc bind and had it ready to go. It was always, we're gonna go cut hay today, but we need to go up and spend 45 minutes to an hour greasing it and getting the blades ready. And gradually, just over time, it's that light bulb finally clicks on and you realize that, you know, we have time we could be working on some of this stuff in between crops and on slower days and rainy days when we're not making fence or dealing with cattle. I'm gonna go ahead and work on some of this stuff, and that's exactly what I started to do, and actually what I really like doing. It's nice being able to jump into the equipment, hook up to it, and go. So here is really nothing major. A little net wrap there I gotta clean up. I'm gonna go through and deal with the teeth. Pretty standard anymore. I don't know if I can get away with flipping that one over. I will if I can. If I can't, I change it. I got 2 bad ones on this guy, but otherwise go through the teeth, get it greased, get it done hooked and ready for the next job. The 7600, I had it pulled down to the milk house, and you guys saw at the beginning of the video. Anybody else, any of my farmer viewers, do you guys notice that these do run on the warmer side of the spectrum? Not hot, not to where they're in the red. I mean, it's never actually gotten into the red, but like, it seems like I'm always one light away from it if I'm really working the tractor. And it varies, it goes up and down throughout the day, but it's just something that I'm noticing here a little bit more, and I'm putting a lot of hours in the 76. I can't help it. I mean, we can go on to the whole tractor debate again, but it's my go-to tractor. I wouldn't cut with the 46 or the 4020 if I have the choice. The front wheel assist makes the tractor. Unless I get forced into it, outside of like a 4440, 4430, I don't really have any desire to buy a 2-wheel drive tractor. I really don't. They say the front wheel assist adds 25 horse to the tractor. I believe it. I was looking. I'm not going to get it. I'm back on that very addicting, very dangerous website, and I think you guys all know that it's auction time. And looking for some things that we need. While not trying to break the bank. You guys can guess what I'm actually looking for right now. I mean, actually comment down below, what do you think I'm actually looking for? But one of the random items I found was actually an Anderson TB1000. And my argument with a self-loading wagon or cart or whatever you want to call them, that you hook on behind the tractor, it's got the arm that comes down and picks them up and sets them onto the bed. I was against something like that because I didn't think you could get away with those on contours, and I actually watched a couple of videos of them running it. Granted, I don't know if those were from the actual manufacturer, but I was actually watching, they were making 5-foot bales, 5x5s, the same thing that I put through ours. Those can handle up to 6-foot diameter bales, which is nice to know. It's nice to know that it can handle bigger bales than what you really intend to use it for. But what they're actually able to do is, even though the bale is sitting at 90 degrees from where you want it to be, so you're not facing the face of it, you're actually looking at the net wrap, the operator actually was able to maneuver it driving up to the bale. Granted, you kind of ease into it so you're not hitting it at 5 miles an hour and destroying your net wrap, but he was actually able to drive into it, and he spun the bale where he could actually pick it up with that arm, and it didn't look like it really hurt the bale, destroyed the net wrap, because that is the thing I'd worry about too, is depending on what you're picking up, because soybean stubble or corn fodder, grass I think is what you'd get away with. Hay you'd get away with because their stubble isn't quite as coarse, but I'd worry about, like on corn and soybean stubble, that you'd rip your net wrap up that's on the ground when you're twisting it 90 degrees. And I've been watching that. Like I said, I'm not gonna be bidding on it unless it goes for stupid cheap, but There are a couple items I've been looking for, and in regards to that inline bale mover, everybody wants me to use the 82 more, and honestly, a tool like that I could hold 10 bales at a time, I would have really considered taking the duals off the 82, or even leaving them on for that matter, and almost putting the 82 on something like that. At least that way, if it has a summer job, to use it, because I can guarantee you, the way things are going, we're probably going to be putting more hours in the 82 than we normally have. Not so much for making hay as of right now. Everybody wants to see it on the disc bind, but the problem is, as far as putting a heavy machine like the 82, it's heavy, it's long, it's unhandy. I cut a lot of rough terrain. I cut a lot of waterways, I cut a lot of pastures, and I cut a lot of ground like the valley that it's still soft while you're cutting it. I mean, like you're sinking in the depth. Actually, I was doing it when I was baling it, but you're actually sinking in the depth of the tread in your tires. So, I don't know. As far as the Michelin's go in the 76, and for those of you that don't like the long talking videos, I think most of you guys are gone, but this is going to be more of a talking video if you haven't figured out. I don't mind them on the rear. On the front end, they bounce. Not really a big fan of that. The Firestones that I had on before, 26 mile an hour tractors didn't give me any issues at all. I've checked the air pressure multiple times, and it's not losing air pressure. The air pressure is staying exactly where I was told to put it. I've asked him if I should crank it up a couple more, 5-10 psi, and he told me that I could. He didn't recommend it because I start looking at blowing out the tires. If you got too much air in the tires and you get the front end airborne, which isn't too big of a thing on the 76, but if you come back down too hard, you can actually blow your tire out that way. So it kind of kept me from going that route. So I want to work on some stuff. The sprayer, the cultivator, and this, plus some other things. But it's getting to the time of year where projects really need to start getting done, to the point where need a tire on the easy trail wagon, cultivator, either I'm going to go through and do some work on that, or I'm going to hook up to it, winterize it, and just get it out of here. Yeah, it just depends on the weather and what I have time to do. We tore out a bunch of fences. We're putting in some fences, and you know, just trying to stay busy while we can. So I think that's enough for today's video. I've been getting kind of lax on doing the videos, not my intentions, but at the same time, if I forget the camera at home, I guess I just forget the camera at home. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys later. Well, just like that, it only took me maybe 10-15 minutes the most, change the blades out, and well, flipped them over, and I actually only had to replace 2, but greased, and I can actually unhook it again. We're good to go. So I looked over on my way back to the tractor, and I realized that I still have half a tank of hay preservative in the baler. The stuff that we're going to be making is not mine. It's my dad's. It's part of my brother's, and they don't opt for the hay preservative. I'll put it on if I really feel like it needs it, because I don't want their hay to be junk. But I don't really like driving around with a half a tank, full tank of hay preservative if I do not need it, because I filled this up, I clear up above, the gallon marker there, and drove down to the valley. And I will say this, I need to check those bolts that actually hold it on. Not that I don't trust them, it's just that I don't trust them. The fact that this whole piece, I mean, it's solid. Like I can't move it. And this whole bracket was flexing on me, and I was only going like 15 mile an hour. Makes me a little uneasy driving that far with a full tank. I mean, that's a lot of weight, but it is what it is. Now, because of the pump that I have in the tank, and I mean, I don't have a $400 one, but $80 one from eBay has really earned its keep. But I've kind of wondered what I would do if I need to empty the tank. I mean, because I'm not going to just run the stuff out on, I'm not even going to be able to run it out on corn fodder because I take out the bracket, and I know you guys can't see anything in the dark, but the pressure springs right there that the spray nozzles are actually mounted to, that actually comes out for corn fodder. Oh, and see all the rust on the pickup, how the preservative is just chewing it away and rusting it out? No, I actually sprayed it off with water. That's rust from me washing the baler off last time I used it. So because of the pump I have on there, it actually allows the liquid to go back siphon back into the tank. Found this out by accident, and see if you can do it here. I mean, I just didn't really think I could reach this far with it, but open this up, and I'll probably make a liar out of myself. No, it is. Huh, that's kind of neat. So I'm gonna run that out. I'll put it down like 5-10 gallons. I mean, that really won't even notice it's back there then. But it is nice to have it in the baler just in case I feel like I need it. So once I get done with this, let me unhook the disc bind and I'll see if I can include you guys in something else here.